10 years now since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission released its final report. The commission was formed in 2008 and tasked with showing Canadians the reality of what happened in residential schools. The final report detailed 94 calls to action meant to guide governments, communities, and faith groups along the journey to reconciliation. And Marianne Demain is looking at the progress made in those 10 years toward those 94 calls.
Yes, and for that information, we've been looking at the CBC's website called Beyond 94. It provides up-to-date progress reports on those 94 calls to action. So let's look at the data that has been put up online there, because it does give us a sense of how far we've come in those 10 years. And I want to start with the calls to action that have now been completed. You see on the right-hand side of your screen, that smaller column there, it shows that 15 of those 94 calls are now complete. Majority of them are red dots. Those red dots represent reconciliation calls. The green represents justice, and purple represents language and culture. I now want to direct you to the left-hand side of the screen. That column there where you see 17, that does represent those that have not yet started. Now you're looking at just the justice. So when we remove all of the other colors, the red, the purple, and the blue, we're just looking at the green now. You can see that number on the right-hand side of your screen too. 2 out of 18 calls specific to justice have now been completed, but you can see 4 have not yet started. Of those that have been completed, that is to appoint a public inquiry into the causes and remedies for the disproportionate victimization of Aboriginal women and girls, as well as the collection and publishing of data on the criminal victimization of Indigenous people. But looking at what still needs to be done, Heather, there are 4 that have not yet started, and that's the commitment of recognizing and implementing an Aboriginal justice system. So we're looking more into that throughout the morning, as well as the other calls that have still not yet started, covering other issues, including health and even children welfare.
And what are the obstacles to those getting underway, Marianne?
Well, we have been hearing from different Indigenous leaders and educators all across the country, and they've been saying a lot of work needs to be done. And we want to show you the data when it comes to the specific calls for reconciliation, because when you look at the data, we're not even halfway there. Those red dots, removing all other colors, their only reconciliation, show that 10 out of 52 calls specific to reconciliation have now been completed, but 11 reconciliation calls to action have not yet started, and that includes number 56. That's a call for the Prime Minister to issue an annual State of Aboriginals report. That has not even started yet. And for more on that, we heard from Eva Jewell. She's in the Sociology Department at Toronto Metropolitan University, and she spoke to Adrienne Arsenault on The National, giving her opinion on why that is.
I don't think the infrastructure exists. It's been 10 years since the calls to action have been released. The Liberal government at the time had promised to completing all of them. Some really meaningful work could have been done in developing the infrastructure to release these types of reports, such as, data agreements between certain ministries, or building that infrastructure to report to the Canadian public about these outcomes and their inequities.
Education and health, child welfare, also among those calls to action themes that we've been looking into this morning, and we're going to talk more about those throughout the morning.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Appreciate that. You can read more about what Marianne was referencing, Beyond 94, CBC's online interactive piece. It has status reports, in-depth features, details all of the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And that is up on our website, cbc.ca/Beyond 94.